I was
What
looking
up?
at those jams, man. Yeah,
What
man.
up? What up?
What's
Silver
going
Screen
on there?
Breakdowns. We are back.
Hustle, hustle.
Heck yeah. I'm Alex. We got Nelson in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Our homie Scott will be in here real soon.
Yeah.
And man, we got one of the greatest movies. I feel like I mean, it's got to be one of the greatest movies of all time. We're talking True Romance, and
Very
multiple
exciting.
people. We were talking about it earlier on the stream, just hyping up the show for tonight. Multiple people coming in and saying this is their number one of all time.
Uh-huh. It was mine for a while. I think I mentioned it to you that, or did I do it on the videos? I'm not sure, but that fight was the fight of the decade. At that time when that came out. It was only 93 though, so you had another 7 years to see fights, right? But but that was epic in that hotel room there.
Definitely. I mean, and really, I mean, we get 3 crazy scenes in there. I mean, we get the Clarence and Drexl one, wild fight scene and shootout scene.
Oh yeah. Gary Oldman.
And then yeah, freaking Tony Soprano and Patricia Arquette, super wild. And then I mean, the shootout between everybody all the way at the end. I mean, just everything about all of this just screamed Tarantino through and through.
Totally. I watched that shootout like, I don't know, 3 times or something.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Shout out everyone in the chat real quick before we move any farther.
Mr. So Bakes a lot.
There we go. Said, guess we're a little early. Not too early. Not too early. And Yakumania says, get the popcorn ready. Yeah, we got a couple scenes that we're going to be going through. And Nelson was on location in a handful of places too. I'm excited to show these off. Oh, yeah. And Bakespot says still hasn't gotten a chance to watch. So there's a few people we start talking about the movie and they never heard of it before.
Really? You know what, too? You know, the title is also deceiving. When I first heard it when it came out, True Romance, just some romantic movie. I'm not going to watch that.
Yeah.
It was totally different from what I thought.
I was late to this one. I only saw it maybe 10, 12 years ago. I think 2010 was when I first saw it. So, I mean, damn near 20 years after it came out and still holds the test of time. That's for sure.
Still seem relevant.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Minnesota Marty. What up?
Yeah, I called my brother. He's busy watching a flick right now. The other Marty.
Yeah, Canada Marty. And Raphael in the house said about to get off work and 30-mile drive. Will join us for that. We'll keep you company. And
Live
Peacock
is on and kicking.
What up, Peacock? He said Patricia Arquette was everything in the 90s. Yeah.
I remember her older sister, Susanna, before.
Yeah.
No, not Susanna. No, Rosanna.
Okay.
Because it was Rosanna. Remember that song by Toto?
Nope.
No? Yeah, well, 80s going back before your time. And apparently the song was about her.
Okay.
Yeah.
What up, Emil? He said greetings from Toronto.
Yeah, my old stomping ground. Yeah, man.
There we go. So before we get into too much of the movie, I mean, let's just shout out some of the credits. I mean, written by Quentin Tarantino. It's really insane that he had to sell this movie, you know, to be able to get some change in his pocket to be able to finally direct Reservoir Dogs, because he wanted to direct this, but nobody's given him the shot as a first-time director. And so Tony Scott ends up directing. And I guess I didn't even realize how many good movies Tony Scott's been a part of, because he was a part of Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Days of Thunder, Last Boy Scout, I mean, True Romance, obviously, Enemy of the State, Man on Fire, Deja Vu. So a lot of good movies under his belt.
Well, yeah, all action, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All action.
Yep. And then starring Christian Slater, Patricia Arquette, what the romance is all about. Dennis Hopper, him and Christopher Walken with the epic scene. I've got that broken down into a few segments. We're going to watch that and break that down later. Val Kilmer, which you never really see his face because he plays the Elvis. But what would you say that's Clarence?
Oh, that was my question. I go, who was Val Kilmer? I never saw him. I was looking for
him. And what is he? He's kind of like, what would we say he is? He's like Clarence's conscience, Clarence's alter ego.
Yeah, let's say you use those two words interchangeably.
Yeah,
for sure.
He's definitely a little bit of a schizo, that's for sure.
And he likes Clarence. He said that a couple times. That's why I like you, Clarence. Yeah.
Always have.
Always will.
And then Gary Oldman, like, man, what an epic role. And we got the scene with him and Clarence in here, and yeah, just super epic. And then Brad Pitt, like, man, it's so funny. Brad Pitt's the guy on the couch in this movie, just the stoner on the couch. He's kind of like a badass in his own mind, but even to like his roommate, fucking what the hell is his name? Why am I spacing on his name? Michael something. What the Michael Rapaport?
Rapaport, yeah, he was good too.
He's Rapaport's roommate, but he's kind of like a bat, like he's kind of like Smokey and Friday when he's like, yeah, Debo comes around, I'll shut the fuck up. But when he leaves, I'll be talking again. Every time someone leaves, he like starts talking shit. I'll fucking kill you.
You don't disrespect me like that, man. Yeah, that was funny, man.
But
Brad
crazy
Pitt
cast of characters. We're reading off, I'm reading off the cast, you know, just to people who've never heard of it. And they're like, wow, how have I never heard of this? And that's probably why. I mean, the title probably throws a lot of people off.
Yeah, I thought Mark, was it Mark Madsen? Is that the guy? He was from Reservoir Dogs and stuff.
Michael?
I thought he was in this too, but he wasn't.
Yeah, Michael Madsen. No, not in this one.
No.
But yeah, this was I mean, this really kicks off, I mean, just everything of what Quentin Tarantino does. I'm glad some of the things got changed around. Like in Quentin's original script, they did it non-linear. So kind of like how they did in Pulp Fiction, where they're jumping all over the place. I'm glad they changed it because he needed to be the one to like introduce that style, not someone else.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so really, I mean, let's just jump into it. When we get into the beginning of the movie, it's really just a scene of, I mean, Clarence is Quentin Tarantino, right? I feel like that, like Quentin Tarantino is Clarence.
Pretty much, yeah.
Elvis freak.
I didn't know that about Quentin.
He loves Elvis. I mean, he was an Elvis impersonator on the Golden Girls, and his royalties from that is what all amongst the money from selling this movie and Natural Born Killers. But that was what kind of funded Reservoir Dogs getting made, was him being an Elvis impersonator on the Golden Girls.
So so he was on that show as like 1 or 2 episodes as an Elvis.
I think it was just one, and it's an episode where there's like, I don't even know how, it looks like they're in their living room or something, and then there's like 20 different Elvis impersonators, and they're all, I don't know, just doing like the weird dances and the weird motions and everything that Elvis is doing. And
Quentin, he made a bunch of money from that, huh?
Yeah, well, I think it was like 20,000 or something like that, and that, I mean, it funded a third. He needed 60,000, I think they said, for him to film Reservoir Dogs, and so that was like a third of the money was from that little cameo.
Wow. It's a good chunk of change back then, even now.
Yeah, for sure. That syndicated TV money. It's just not like
I watched that show a few times, The Golden Girls.
Yeah, I saw it in a Quentin Tarantino documentary where they talk about that, because I've maybe seen a couple episodes of Golden Girls.
Yeah, you're just gonna bump into it by accident. What's this show?
Yeah.
But, yeah, you get roped in, and the next thing you know, 30 minutes has gone by.
Yep. And so, yeah, he's talking to, I mean, we don't even know who he's talking to. Some chick in the bar. We don't know that it's his birthday, but pretty much, I mean, what I gather is he's an Elvis freak, and chicks don't really dig him too much. That's really what I got from the intro into Clarence.
Yeah, he worked at that bar, didn't he?
I don't know if he worked at the bar. I mean, he was just sitting at the bar.
He was just sitting there, because I know he worked at the comic store, but
yeah. I think he was just trying to hit on the chick who was next to him and trying to get a date for his birthday. We didn't know it was his birthday during that scene. Yeah. We find that out later. But not too much of a ladies' man is like one of the first things that I gather. And then they do all the credits and all that, and then you hear Alabama talking. And one thing that I do kind of like is how the Tarantino worlds, how they all mesh. I don't know if you remember, but from Reservoir Dogs, I wish I grabbed the little scene where Harvey Keitel comes in, talks to the big boss man, and he was like, "Hey, how's Alabama?"
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he's like, "Alabama, haven't seen her in 2 or 3 years."
So he names her Alabama.
Yeah.
Clarence.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do that. I don't know. I saw Reservoir Dogs, but I saw it so long ago, I don't remember that. Did you watch it recently?
Not recently, but I mean, that's just one of those. I've seen it so many times, and a lot of the references that he's made in a lot of these different
Oh,
movies, all the Easter eggs that people have pointed out on YouTube videos and stuff. That's one
yeah,
of
yeah,
them.
yeah. Yeah, I mean,
And
no, he might have been having trouble, getting the ladies, but he got Alabama pretty quick. Right place
Marty
at the
said,
right
"What if
time,
Reservoir
man.
Dogs failed?" I mean, it was such a good script, though. I mean, he brings it like, they get it to Harvey Keitel. And I mean, a guy like him who's just that immersed in Hollywood, he started getting a bunch of people like on board. And I mean, there's not really too many movies that are like it. He was like the setting the stage of him being, I mean, one of the greatest directors of all time, if not the greatest.
Yeah, man. He's got definitely has his own style that's unmatched,
Yeah.
not mirrored
Yeah.
in any way yet.
And Bogard, what up? He said it's like the Red Apple cigarettes. Yep. I mean, pretty much in everything, even back from the Hateful Eight, and they're smoking like Red Apple cigarettes back in the 1800s.
The recurring and connect all the Tarantino flicks.
Yeah, a lot of cool instances in the Tarantino movies. And I guess what's crazy about this movie, it probably takes place over the course of a week or maybe like 4 or 5 days. They don't really do too much through it. It jumps from scene to scene, but the movie just kind of, it takes off really quick. I mean, goes from him talking to, trying to pick up the lady to, I mean, he said he was getting ready to go to the movies. So he goes to the movies, and 3 movies back to back. So I don't know how long these Kung Fu movies are. I'm assuming an hour and a half.
They're like exactly an hour and a half. I think they're 89 minutes.
So that's a commitment right there. You got to commit to 4.5, 5 hours of sitting through there. And you see he's alone, but then Alabama comes in there and spills the popcorn all over him.
Yeah, spills the popcorn all over him. And then they get all, cutesy. And the next thing you know, takes her back. And then they're married. Boom. It's
Just
like 1,
like
2,
that.
3. He's the opposite of a ladies' man. Right?
Yeah. One of the lines that I like in Ferris Bueller is, I feel sorry for Cameron because he's going to marry the first woman he lays. And kind of felt that about Clarence. I mean, been a little while since he had since he had a little nookie, and then he had to lock her down right away and everything.
I know guys like that in real life, man. It happened to not to me, but
and Nelson was on location. So check this out. We got some footage of the movie theater, and let's go ahead and check this out.
Okay, everybody, I just walked 2,300 steps, which is 1.3 miles, to the Vista movie theater. Now, this is where they shot the Kung Fu movie theater night, let's say, where Clarence goes to watch the Kung Fu movie, and Alabama spills all that popcorn off.
Dang it. So we played too many True Romance clips.
Alex. We did?
Yeah, the stream got interrupted.
Oh, but we're back.
We'll cut that out. I mean, we're still here, but people on YouTube, they can't see us right now. But we'll be back in a second.
So how long does it cut for?
We'll see. Could be like 60 seconds or so. Like
so they slap on the wrist is what it is?
Yeah. I mean, they just stop it until they realize that that we're not showing it anymore. Dang, so we might not be able to show any of the last scene that we have. We'll try it, but maybe not. I don't want to get we don't want to get a mark. And Marty said, "Damn it, Mark Zuckerberg."
which I thought we showed them all.
Well, we could see it on our end, but if you were just watching it on YouTube right now, it says stream unavailable.
Oh, okay.
So we're showing too many clips, is what it is.
Do they go by duration, or is it the number of clips?
Not really sure. Not really sure how it works, and it's only certain things. So yeah, we probably won't show any more clips on the episode, but yeah, either way, we can still keep it going. And YouTube people will be back here in a second. And
I was just gonna say, did you see my cameo on that scene where Slater goes by the door? You see me come out of the door there?
Oh yeah, I saw you
with no shirt on.
So, has it been renovated since? I mean, it looked like the doors were different colors and looked
Yeah, they're
like
painted
something.
pretty much red now or burgundy or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the film, obviously they were like a tan color, looked like
Mm-hmm.
beige, light
Yep.
beige.
Yeah. Okay, we're back on YouTube now.
Yes.
We're back, everybody. So I had some other scenes, and I guess we won't play them because we don't want to get in trouble from YouTube.
I think it was just one. Oh, other scenes that you pulled from the film. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean the other scene that I pulled, I chopped it down in a handful of different cuts, but the Dennis Hopper, Christopher Walken scene, I mean, definitely the best scene in the movie. Happened super early in the movie too. I think in Quentin Tarantino's version, when he did it non-linear, that was kind of one of the things at the end of the movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Those are good clips. Those are good clips, man. Okay.
Yeah, and what a way to go out. Dennis Hopper already knew that he was going to die. And it's crazy because these guys, these mobsters, for being like so smart and everything, and I mean, they're at his house waiting for him, and all they had to do was look on the refrigerator because the guy's name and phone number is there of where they went to in LA. And so they didn't even have to do anything with the dad. They just could have waited. And then what's it called? And then when James Gandolfini, when he goes into the waiting for Alabama, I mean, I'm sure they wanted to kill him, but really it was about getting the coke. I mean, that was the main thing. And he didn't even check under the bed. Who knows how long he's sitting there for? Doesn't even check under the bed. It's in the hotel room.
Yeah, he says it out loud too.
Yeah.
Let me take under the bed.
I'm getting old.
Let me think.
Getting old.
Yeah.
And yeah, what did you think when, because you said this was the fight of the decade, and I mean, it was wild. Alabama, I mean, she's just a badass.
Yeah, one, you didn't really see a lot of films with like a guy fighting a woman like that.
Yeah.
It was a long fight.
Yeah.
Well, that was so many, you didn't see a man or woman. Number two, it was a long fight. Number three, it was really, really violent.
Yeah.
With the toilet seat cover and
I mean, he beat the shit out of her. I mean, she ends up coming out on top, but he beat the shit out of her.
Yeah. Did you see movies like that now? Like women getting beat up like that?
No, not really.
I don't think so.
No. I mean,
guys getting beat up now.
I guess there's not really too many ways that you can do that. I mean, we're too much in a PC culture right now.
Yeah,
I mean, even then, he gets the best of her, but I mean, she's the one who comes out alive. She's the one who ends up turning the tables and stabbing him in his foot and getting the shotgun and blowing him away, getting the fucking the hairspray and the lighter and lighting him on fire, and it was wild.
Yeah, and the room looked a mess.
Yeah,
blood everywhere and stuff. So
yeah,
so it was. I remember people talking about, that fight scene in True Romance. It was amazing.
Yeah,
and I never saw it in the theaters. Like I said, I wasn't really. I was put off by the title of the film. I didn't think it was close to as close to what it was. Kind of like Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah,
amazing movie, but when it came out, I was like, "What's this?" I can see it. I saw that later on too.
Yeah,
and it was amazing. It's like, I missed it though in the theater.
Yeah,
just because of the title of it.
Yeah, definitely could throw you off, and yeah, just insane. I mean, the Gary Oldman, the Drexl Clarence fight, and then the Virgil Alabama fight, just insane. And that's after they go meet the dude who they're potentially going to sell the coke to. They go to Six Flags or whatever. And and they just drops her off like everything's okay. And just, man, not a time to be separated from each other. That's for sure.
And that hotel, not the hotel, the motel looked bigger on screening once again.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a smallish type of motel when you go in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I thought the car area was bigger.
It
looked like a decent size on the film.
Right. And Bogey said, only if you make a movie like about Ike Turner could you portray a woman being beaten on the silver screen again. Yeah, just it's really not going to happen. But yeah, so I mean, really wild. And then then they're just out of there. I mean, Clarence makes it there, like right as Alabama like kills them, and then I mean, we just showed it on there, and then they're running out, completely out of there, and still business as usual though. I mean, he even is telling what's his name, Dickie, that she got hurt like playing basketball. And like,
oh yeah,
such a bullshit reason, but I mean, nobody really questions it because she's totally fucked up.
she played it well too.
Yeah,
she played it very well.
Yeah, and there's really no breaks in the action because it goes from that. I mean, they're chilling by like the airport and they're having like a little scene, like talking or whatever. But then they're back at the Beverly Hotel, and this is where I mean, pretty much the whole climax of the entire movie happens, and it's really weird how. Well, not weird. I mean, it's really ironic how. I forget the dude's name, Elliot, the one who's introducing Clarence to the other guy, the one who's kind of like the middleman who knows Dickie or whatever.
Was that Bronson Pinchot's character?
I believe so. And because he gets pinched by the cops, like he's the one who's going to end up like screwing over his friend, not like the random person because they're worried about Clarence being someone who's going to fuck him over and, ends up being his friend, or I don't know, whatever he is to him, assistant or whatever, the one
who's
his assistant. Them all down.
What was the name of the movie producer, right?
Yeah, I cannot think of his name to save my life right now.
Saul Rubinek was the actor. I know his name. I know who he is. He's from Canada, actually. He's a very good actor.
Lee Donowitz. There we go.
Yeah.
Lee Donowitz.
Oh, he was good. That's when Elliot betrays him.
Yeah,
you ripped my heart out of my chest. when he realizes, I don't know. Should we not skip ahead or what?
No, we can. I mean, that's pretty much where we're at. Yeah.
Yeah. When he realizes that he's in on the wiretap, I guess.
Yeah. You'll never work in this fucking town again.
I was a big brother to you. You ripped the heart out of my chest by doing that. Oh man, I think that's probably my favorite scene. That whole scene there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, real crazy the way it works out. I mean, it's funny because when Clarence comes in, he's got the gun and they're like patting everybody down and the whole thing, and he explains everything and why he has the gun and all that. And he's like, yeah, you can hold on to it.
Yeah. Unbeknownst that we know that the mob's coming, they're on their way too. It's like, oh yeah. No, the cops are there.
And I guess the spot that we skipped when they're in the elevator, that part was just, Clarence is just crazy. Because they're listening to him on the wiretap, and he stops the elevator and puts the gun up to Elliot's head. What's waiting for us up there? You trying to fuck me? And the guys who are listening, they're laughing, because they're like, this Clarence guy is fucking crazy. And it's like, he's bluffing you, Elliot. He's bluffing you.
Elliot almost breaks. Like, no, he's not going to break. He's not going to break. He's not going to break.
Yeah.
He's going to break.
He's going to kill him. He's going to kill him. Had to test him, though, because Clarence is still, like, nervous about this whole thing, too. And, but yeah, Elliot fucking... Surprised he didn't piss himself there and just let the cat out of the bag, but he hung tough enough.
I don't like this. I don't like this. I think he got away too, didn't he?
Well, yeah.
He sneaked away through the.
No, actually, I don't know. I don't know if he did because
yeah,
Rapaport did in the midst of all the the stare down, I guess, because no guns have been fired yet. It's like, detective, whatever your name is, I'm not needed anymore now. Can I leave? Shut the fuck up, Elliot. What an idiot.
How you know that? How you what an idiot. Betrayed is the ultimate betrayal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And so I don't think they ever show him leaving because they tell him to sit down and shut up. And that's kind of it.
Well, yeah, I remember Rapaport's. What was his character's name again?
Dickie.
I remember Dickie sneaking out of there, going down the hallway.
Yeah,
he got out.
He threw the whole suitcase of coke, and then someone shot it, and then that was all over the place, and that kind of was the
He sneaked
diversion.
away.
Yeah.
And then didn't Elliot kind of slither out of there somehow?
They never showed it. I mean, unless I'm like just totally like skipping over that part, but I don't remember him actually leaving. I don't remember seeing him get shot either, though.
I definitely don't remember seeing him get shot. But I thought I saw him leave, like Rapaport's kind of like he sneaked out or something, but maybe not.
Yeah,
I have to watch
remember.
that again because, I know that scene's on YouTube actually.
Yeah, and crazy how Clarence and Alabama are able to sneak out, and because I mean Clarence is coming out of the bathroom and then he just gets shot in the eye, and in Tarantino's version, Clarence actually dies, so that was one of the things that got changed as well.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. And but then they end up making it away somehow. I mean, with all the cops and all the sea of everything, they're able to just sneak through, and they didn't park inside of the Beverly, like they parked on the street, is what it looked like, and they pretty much ride off into the sunset. Did they get any money or anything like that? I don't remember if they took the suitcase of money or anything like that.
I have to watch it again myself. I'm thinking right now. I don't know. Like, yeah, where did that suitcase go?
Yeah.
Well, it flew. Oh no, sorry. The money flew up when he threw the money up, right? Or did he throw?
No, he threw up he threw the bag with the coke in it.
Oh, so
and then they shot that, and then it's just raining white, and that was his diversion to get out.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
I guess that's what I'm just assuming is that they got away with the money.
Yeah, because they ended up some tropical beast, didn't they, with their kid?
Yeah, Elvis.
Of course. That was 2 or 3 years later, I think. 3 years later.
Yeah, and that's what she said. That would have been one of the biggest differences, is that I probably wouldn't have named our son Elvis.
Yeah, no doubt.
So for me, my favorite scene is the one with Walken and Christopher Walken and Dennis Hopper. I mean, it was I think about a 10-minute scene with just Walken and Dennis Hopper going back and forth, and talking about how Sicilians are the greatest liars and all the different tells and all that, and it's pretty much fucking him up along the way every time he tells a lie.
And they're black, they actually come from descents of blacks from Africa.
Well, yeah, that was then Dennis Hopper. Yeah, I'll take that Chesterfield now. Should have been a red apple. That would have been funny. But then he starts telling them the whole story about how the Moors conquered Sicily and the Moors were black. And so, everyone from Sicily has the black gene running through them. And Christopher Walken didn't like that. He said he hasn't killed anybody in like 10 years or something. But he was the one who wanted to do him in after that.
I thought we'd see Walken again, but he was in and out too.
Yeah, just that one. I mean, it was a lot of dialogue that was in there too. So it's not, I mean, the screen time was still good, even though it was only in for that one scene. But yeah, and Quentin Tarantino, he said the only thing that was ad-libbed from that entire scene was at the end when he said, "You're part eggplant," and he's like, "And you're part cantaloupe," and he said that was the only part that was ad-libbed out of the entire scene that they delivered.
That's cool to know. Didn't know that.
Yeah, so everything pretty much word for word what Quentin Tarantino wrote. And Quentin Tarantino, it's he said that because his mom used to date a bunch of black guys back in the day, and they would
didn't know that either.
That's where he got a lot of his swag from, because they would go take him to see the blaxploitation movies and all that kind of stuff. So he kind of grew up amongst that world. And that's why I said if he was like really gonna make himself, like if he was a bad guy in real life, he would have been Drexl. Just seemed like that was like him. And
so is that why he always has blacks in his movies, which he does, right? Like
well, he writes what he knows, and he was really immersed into that culture as a kid.
Oh,
yeah, and
it's new for me. I didn't know that.
I forget he mentions the person specifically, but I think it was one of his mom's like old boyfriends that told him that whole story about the Moors and conquering Sicily. So it was like something that was told to him as like history, and he re-put that into the movie.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in class right now. Educated Tarantino Lee.
Well,
that's educated.
That's my favorite scene. What would you boil your favorite scene down to?
Well, that shooting scene was my favorite scene.
Yeah.
And then that scene is my second favorite scene. I like that a lot too. Because you wonder, like, when are they going to do to Hopper's character? Of course, he met the demise. Then the guy finds on the fridge, "Hey, gonna make you very happy," or something, right? You're about to be very happy. The phone number's right on the fridge, right?
Yeah.
So that was cool. That part reminded me of Scarface.
Yep.
When they meet the cop, he says, "You can't kill a cop." He shoots him in the stomach. Remember that scene?
Who said you was one?
Yeah, he says you was one.
It's funny because I like literally right on my wall, like right here, I have it's a Scarface poster, and it's from that scene. He has the gun where he's like just holding it right on the table when he's got the arm, the strap on his whole arm.
Oh yeah. Because he had a sling, right? Because what's his face tried to take him out.
Yeah.
And failed. Was it Omar? Omar.
Yeah.
It was Omar.
Yeah.
So anyway, so at the end of that scene, so he kills the drug, not the drug lord, but the main drug lord in that city.
Yeah.
What's his name again? Michelle Pfeiffer's dude.
Frank.
Oh yeah, Frank. So he kills Frank, and then the guy says, "You can't kill a cop." He shoots him in the stomach. And then who's left was Tony.
Yeah.
Big Tony, right? The bodyguard.
Yeah.
And then they go to leave.
Yeah.
And then he goes, wait. And then not Al Pacino, but the other dude.
Yeah. You want a job?
Bauer, yeah, he goes, "Hey man, yeah, what'd you do with Tony? Hey, you want a job?" Tony. He's like sweating.
Yeah, like about to shit his pants.
Yeah. Sure, Tony. Thank you.
And so that last scene, I mean, not the last scene, but the big gun down scene that you said your favorite one. How hard do you think it is to put an entire scene like that, like
brutal.
together?
Probably took a few days for sure.
How many like that's not happening just once, isn't it? Is it like how many takes do you think it takes to get something like that?
Well, first thing is how many cameras? I think you'd have to have like 3 cameras.
Okay.
I don't think 2 would have been enough. I'd probably use 3. I'm no expert or nothing, but you probably use 3.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're probably doing all master shots first, and then you're going to be doing all close-ups from different angles and stuff, and then you got to look at cleanup.
Yeah.
Right. So they probably would do a lot of the
especially that is super messy. They have those fancy pillows with all the feathers.
That's what I was thinking about.
Those are all over the fucking place.
Yeah, so you probably they'd have to do a take of that, and then they definitely do the takes with all the feathers. You'd have to do all the ending takes with the feathers because everything's already down.
Right.
So you almost would have to shoot a lot of it kind of in reverse in a way.
Okay.
Because you can only clean up so many times with budget and all that stuff, right?
Right.
So they would probably end up shooting a lot of the stuff that got messed up, and then they clean it up, and then they can reshoot over and over again before it gets messy. Do all those shots clean, and then do those.
That's what's crazy. I feel like it gets messy within like the first second. Like as soon as they start shooting, it's like someone shoots the pillows that start shooting the feathers.
Yeah,
like all over the place.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, that's why I like that scene so much because it's fascinating, like how they even shot it.
Yeah, a lot is going on.
Yeah, there's
how many people are in that room? There's like 10 people, right? There's like 4 mobsters, and then there's like 3 cops or 4 cops, and then
8, and then you got Elliot and his buddy.
Yeah,
that's 9, 10, and then you got 2, the bodyguard 11. You got
Clarence, there's like 3 bodyguards
12,
there.
13. Yeah, you got about 15 people in there.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
And that's
what's crazy. And like we go from like scenes like this to like Quentin Tarantino doing like the Django, like that final scene where it's like Django shooting everybody all over the fucking place and like all that. And like,
yeah,
it's insane. It's insane. Like that's some of the that's some of the coolest part, I think, of like Hollywood movie making. Like, how do we make this crazy bloodbath like come to life like on screen? Insane.
Then, I thought they was going to continue down in the lobby too. They did a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But it kind of petered out a little bit though.
Yeah, it's like as they're taking off, it was like someone was like, yeah, he was like, I'll blow this bitch's brains out, or like something like that. One of the mobsters like took someone hostage, and then that was kind of it. They didn't even show anything after that. And Bogart said his mom's best friend was a black woman. It was her brother that told him about the legendary Moors. Okay. Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay.
He said it was like his it was like his black mom. They were like best friends. Yeah. Yeah, the mom's best friend.
The mom's best friend's brother
was pretty much his uncle growing up. Okay. It was
so
the
his
guy.
mom's friend was black.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the guy that told Tarantino the birds and the bees, so to speak.
That's Bogart, right? Is that what you said? Bogart?
Yeah, that's Bogart.
So he's behind the scenes. He's not gonna come
Well,
up.
we're gonna get ready to wrap this one up right now, so I guess he's not gonna be on here for this.
Yeah, well, we've been on for a while now, so
yeah, we'll figure out the next movie that we're gonna do, and maybe in about 2 weeks from now we'll get another movie in. We'll brainstorm a little bit. But yeah, I mean, as far as like a grade goes, I mean, I know there's no real like perfect grades, but do we grade this anything other than like an A or a 10, or any flaws in the movie or movie production that we could nitpick at?
yeah, I would have given it A plus. I do definitely an A, the A minus. The only thing is that like how I think the flaws that we mentioned earlier were those flaws where everything was sped up so quickly, even though it was well acted though.
Yeah.
So the acting compensated for the timeline.
Yeah.
So timeline was a little contrived near the beginning. And you also said we don't really know how long. Well, we don't have to know how long the timeline is anyway for the whole duration of the movie.
Yeah. Seems like it's a couple days or less than a week.
Yeah. So there's some things, but the movie wasn't that long. I think if it got dragged on, then it would have been a kind of a dragged on movie, and it wasn't.
Well, that's what's crazy. It's still a 2-hour movie. And maybe because the dialogue
but there's a lot of action, so it went by quick. I thought it was like an hour, a little over an hour and a half.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's right. I think it's right around the 120 mark, if I'm not mistaken. 118 minutes. So yeah, I mean, super close. I mean, 2 minutes
That's
shy.
2 hours.
Yeah,
That's 2 hours.
Yeah,
it didn't seem like 2 hours, man.
No, I mean, I guess because the dialogue's so good. I mean, even that 10-minute scene with Christopher Walken and Dennis Hopper, it doesn't feel like it's 10 minutes because like every like second of that 10 minutes is so good.
I would give it an A minus if you said, no, Nelly, you gotta. I really think it's an A for this reason, that reason. Then I'd be cool with an A too, but it's not an A plus.
Yeah,
but it's an A to an A minus.
Yeah,
give it that.
And
which is really good, obviously. But.
Yeah, and who knows if Quentin Tarantino directs it, how much better or different it ends up being. I mean, I know the biggest difference is changing it from non-linear to linear, and I'm glad that they did, because Pulp Fiction, that being, you know, where Quentin Tarantino kind of releases that style, I guess a little bit in Reservoir Dogs like as well too, but it needed to be him releasing that style, not fucking Tony Scott.
Yeah. Although Tony Scott's good, but
yeah. But yeah, great movie, and we're gonna brainstorm about the next one. I'm excited though to keep doing these breakdowns. And Nelson, you're the man. Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. And, well, then we'll see with our next one what type of locations I can get again.
Yeah, definitely, and maybe we'll pick something based on like some cool locations or something that that you've been around recently,
or that I can find easily around town. You know, there are so many locations around here. And you know what's funny was finding the locations that's like near my place. Like that movie theater I just walked. It's just a mile up the street from my place.
Yeah, you said it was only, what, 2,000 steps away?
Yeah, I measured it on the phone. So that's pretty cool, especially when you watch movies before I wasn't even living here. Then you recognize spots from this movie and that movie.
Yeah.
Well, what's strange about it though, it does take a little of the mystique away, because it's almost like magic. So, right. I wish I knew how they did that trick, and then you find out how they did the trick. It's cool, but it's just like, well, now I know how they did it. But you want to know though,
right?
It's like a catch-22.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? So you watch a movie. Hey, I know that street. You know that famous place, Sunset Boulevard, or famous movie.
Yeah.
All right. So I read it. I read the script, and then they say, yeah, I'm driving down south on Bronson, turn right onto Melrose Avenue into the east side gate of Paramount Studios, she says, right?
Uh-huh.
And then when you but when you read that script when you're 2,000 miles away in another country, there's so much mystique to all these addresses and places, right? Because it's all in your imagination.
Yeah.
When you live here, it's just like, yeah, I know that street. I walked it yesterday when I was getting groceries.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just normal.
Yeah, and then I'll tell for people in the chat too, who's left, there's you watch a movie sometimes here, and then you may see the actor when you get out of it. Just on the street somewhere. It's like, hey, were you just in that movie?
Yeah.
So it happened, that happened to a friend of mine, actually. He was renting a movie, actually, back being rented on VHS back in the 90s.
That's funny.
He turned by. He said, hey, I just saw you. He talked to the guy. I just saw a movie. You got killed, and you're here renting a movie too.
You're alive.
Yeah, it is bizarre, man. That's cool.
Awesome. All right. Well, we'll wrap a bow on this thing. And True Romance. What a movie. For everyone who hasn't seen it, go watch it. And make sure you go back and go follow us in podcast form. It's on ssbpod.com. So SSB, like Silver Screen Breakdowns. And we're all over every podcast platform out there. And we got, I think there's about 10 or 12 episodes on there now. So go check it out. And then if you're listening to this in podcast form, go follow us on the Silver Screen Breakdowns YouTube channel. And yeah, then you can see all the video footage that we shot. And we got the scenes that you in a bunch of these that you can actually watch with us versus just listening. So appreciate you guys. And we'll see you in a couple weeks with the next episode.
See you guys. Thanks for coming out.
Peace out.
All right. Later.